Hello TikTok, and another video I'm making today. I'm trying to build my content up. So with some of us, our vibrations go to a very high source. Then everything that we say out our mouths, getting closer to the more source we're at with our universe, and where Earth is propelling closer to the divine being. Our manifestations are starting to come by a lot faster, and the world doesn't know how to adapt to it. In a 5D sense, we can't adapt to the saying, well, I accept that sometimes everything I say out of my mouth can be monitored or audited by God. And what happens is you end up paying for everything that you say or anything like that. Well, let me tell you one of the things that I did. And I want to tell you how the state of Louisiana and what they raised and how they wanted to raise somebody like me. Well, I've been done wrong, I feel, by the state in a few instances. So I used to say, well, shit, I'm just like a state baby. The state takes care of me. In all, God opens up my eyes. God says, hold on, you a state baby? Let me make you a state baby and show you the corruption. So I go to looking at the Medicaid form. This one will get you. This is the one I want y'all to really listen to, because this is informational videos I'm giving out, y'all. This is like a faith-based law. What I see, I bring into reality, a faith-based law system. Do you know what that means? That's in God we trust. That's what that means. A faith-based law system would be to say, hold on, in God's universal sense and what I know is right in my heart, that's the one I trust. That's who I trust. So I'm looking at the Medicaid forms in the state of Louisiana. And don't you know, when you file for Medicaid, they can take out of every trust or the state that you have, anything that the estate, if you keep on filing for Medicaid, they take out of your estate. And when they're taking out of your state, the state feels like they're the ones who have control over your funds. Well, let me tell y'all something. I ain't no state baby no more. Y'all raised me into reflection, a mirror of what God don't like. So you telling me Louisiana and South Louisiana and Terrebonne Parish and the state, because they know where I'm at, they know my address. You telling me you're holding my trust fund and everything else from me. You're holding all of that, right? But I can go to Medicaid and they know where it's at. But I, as a civilian under the Free Information Act, I feel like it should be a Free Information Act. I can't get the information I need to access my own trust. I don't even know my own real name. Probably the only man on earth that really don't know his own name.
Hey, right here.
And it ain't that cold. You don't want to give me my name, because you know once you give me my name, I'm on, y'all, like white on rice. But never wanted to give me my name because you felt like, well, I'm gonna hold his trust. And even if it's a revocable trust, I believe my father's been dead. And I can prove all of these things because it happened to me. What y'all tried to do with me, the same thing y'all did with my father. Y'all unalived him and brought him back to life. Just like y'all tried to do to me. So my father's been dead. The man that I knew back when I was raised as a kid, he's been dead. But the man that you say that's still alive, and you change it to revocable trust, but once he died, when he died, it made it a non-revocable trust, an irrevocable trust. So you're holding my trust illegally. With my family, who dug my own grave and they wrote some good things about me when I would have died. They done wrote the papers out already. They was willing to give a speech at my death. They done dug the hole for me and then willing to give a nice speech about me. You want me to be happy about that, sir? Shit, or do you want me to wish, excuse me, or do you want me to wish the same thing that you wished on me? Because it's eye for eye right now in this world. God told me when I was down and out. When I woke up, I was surrounded by a bunch of beings that could move cars with their minds, could read my mind, could download my thoughts. And in the midst of this, when I woke up, I had a pen and paper in my hand. The first thing that God said out of my mouth, because I wasn't even me, God had restored me to be a whole rebuilt person in the time of war. He said, don't worry about it, I got you. In the midst of these beings that wanted to kill me for my money on earth, when God had already punished them to a time on earth, because it was a spirit world that I had been taken into. God had already punished them for damnation. So you know how they felt about his son. So I grabbed that pen and paper, and all of a sudden I hear knocking on the front door and the back door. You know what I mean? I don't know who's showing up. These beings had just exposed themselves to me. I grabbed the pen and paper. It said, make something happen or don't happen before it don't happen or happens. You take that how it resonates. I still ain't come down to the to decode. I guess it's make a choice. Whatever you make that choice is, it's good or bad. The name that they gave me, ABCD/DCBA, they gave me that in the heavens. I'm a blessed man, you know what I mean? And that's Omega on both sides. And, you know, that's, I mean, not Omega, Alpha on both sides. I just, excuse me. So let me replay that. So God had already said that. That was the first thing he sent me. The second thing he sends me is, if you try to kill me, I'm going to try to kill you. One of the higher beings, whatever one I had channeled at that time, he had already stripped me of everything I already knew. If you'd have hit me in my face, I wouldn't have been able to do nothing to make a reaction from me, because I couldn't feel anything beyond that. I didn't know whether to strike you back. I didn't know whether to just sit down and say, what I did was sit down and say nothing, because if you'd have hit me in my face, I wouldn't have known the reaction even. When he rebuilt me from the ground up. From the root chakra all the way to the crown chakra. With the specified DNA that I already had possessed when I was born. He was able to build me as a warrior. One of his sons. So, the third thing that he writes, though, he lets them know, I am a forgiving God. I love y'all still. And while I'm writing this on paper, guess what everybody fails to do is listen to what I've said. It said, heighten and strengthen. And I decoded that. The blood of the humans would already strengthen those of the RH negative bloodlines, which would bring a more superior combination and cross between the angels and the humans. Which the angels these days are already crossbred. They, you know, and it's more of they're acting in the spirit more than the flesh. It's not that you see the angels and you're not going to see one. You're going to see an earth angel. Yeah, you're going to see an earth angel. But you're going to see them in the flesh, but it's their spirit operating sometimes. But when that flesh can control that spirit and say, hey, let's get this in line. Let's do this in the 3D. It's great. So anyway. So he said, heighten, strengthen. I'm going to make this better. If y'all can make these crosses, the RH negative and the humans, I'm going to make this better. So he was giving him a chance, you know what I'm saying? He still gave him a chance, but he told him, if you try to kill us, we're going to try to kill you. And he already knows how I was going to be and feel towards these people. Once they doing shit on me that I never signed up for that shit. God I don't think signed me up for that stuff. But his son did. His son knew what was going to happen. His son was watching on the earth. The one that raised me. And he knew all of this shit was going to happen and put me in the middle of a war. You know what I mean? He said, here, do something. You want my son? My dad is like, you do something with him, knowing he raised me. Knowing my eyes would shine and light up the whole house at times. Knew something was special about the kid. Anyway, God gave them a chance to cross the RH negative and the human bloodline to make a better group of people who will be judged in heaven, and the blood types are accepted with the rainbow around my cell wall. So it's already happened. The bloodlines have been already accepted. What are y'all still fighting for? I know what you're fighting for, not to get caught. Just like them criminals that you give 20 years to. You fighting just like them not to get caught now, huh? Everything that happened to you is going to happen backwards now. The poor are going to be rich, the rich are going to be poor. ABCD/DCBA. Now you're going to know how it feels to be those poor people in that situation. Anointed, man. Anointed by God. Check out my channel, man.